What's going on, Geekdom? This is Chipmunk doing some more reactions today. Today is Animation Monday, so we're checking out some like either anime or animation shorts and stuff like that. Today we're doing a top 10. And this is top 10 horror anime that will scare the ish out of you. So this should be pretty interesting. It's getting close to Halloween time, so yeah, this should be pretty fun. So I was like, why not? Why not throw this one on here as well? So let's go ahead and check out this list. And this is AnimeRegent's channel. So this is off of his channel of his top 10 scary. So let's check this out.
Starting off the list is Corpse Party.
It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. Not the right type of party, but it's a party.
This anime is based on the popular horror survival game, and it manages to give the same feeling of the original horror game. This happens after a school cultural festival where students are trapped in an alternate reality high school now haunted by ghosts. Our protagonist is Satoshi, and the story follows him trying to survive in this ghost school along with his friends Naomi, Yoshiki, and Ayumi. Corpse Party is a show that completely focuses on the horror of high school and contains some twists that can scare a mature audience. Even though the setting might be a little cliche, the writers know how to weave in the mystery and give in some horror that could give you nightmares.
I don't think I've heard of this one before.
Now, Gothic may be part mystery, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have its fair share of horror. To be honest, the very first few episodes of the series have horror woven onto it, and it is one of the main factors that the show uses to build up the mystery and plot. Gothic is about a mysterious girl named Victorique, who helps her brother solve various crimes using her genius-level intellect. He is soon joined by a rather inquisitive boy named Kazuya, who is more like the Dr. Watson of Victorique. As we mentioned, the first few arcs of the story have horror embedded into it. For example, the second episode deals with a group trapped in a mysterious ship, which now everyone believes to be haunted by ghosts. Coming in at number 8 is Kagawani. Normally horror shows are associated with ghosts, inhumans, or undead creatures, but Kagawani pulls up a twist when its horror mystery revolves around a mysterious animal. This anime is about a scientist named Sasuke and his investigation on several mysterious animals' attacks. They are now labelled as unidentified mysterious animals who attack humans and survive on their dead bodies.
I say it's not the most favorable animation, but
the show,
like,
the
it's
mystery
not
and horror
bad.
of the series is woven around them. As you begin the series, you genuinely get the question on who these animals are and what's the purpose of their brutal human attacks. And the show gradually finds answers for them, but does so by building up to a climax
I think it works.
Bloodshed. Next up is the Garden of Sinners. Written by the same author of the popular Fate series, The Garden of Sinners is an anime that passed under everyone's radar. It is about Shiki Ryugu from the Ryugu clan. The Ryugu clan is popular for hunting demons and other supernatural creatures, and Shiki is the next heiress of this family heirloom. Based on the synopsis itself, it must be obvious for you that the show handles horror themes. Similar to Gothic, the premise of the show involves large amounts of horror. For example, the first movie of this 7-movie series revolves around a girl who tried to commit suicide, and the second is about a lurking serial killer. The horror aspect does get decreased to a certain level in the later movies, but the first few are enough to give anyone the chills. Up next is Higurashi, When They Cry.
I tried my best to watch this.
What if we told you there was an anime
and I was
that had
like,
a twist of
I
school days
didn't
and the genuine
understand
horror of
the purpose
Corpse
of a lot of the
Party?
stuff
That
they're
would be
doing in
Higurashi
anime.
When They Cry. It happens when a boy called Kichi travels to the fictional village of Hinamamizawa and befriends 4 girls with a rather mysterious background. He soon gets to know about a mystery in the village that people have been killed off or disappeared at the end of the
the animation looks a little bit different than what I watched.
Soon he realizes that the murders are linked to the lives of her 4 childhood friends, and before long, he is dragged into this dangerous murder mystery as well. Higurashi has been labelled as a psychological horror.
I couldn't finish it just because I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Question your
a lot of stuff didn't work
Ghost Town
too well
comes
in my mind.
next. Next up, we're moving back into the spirits and ghosts. This time our story happens on the island of Kyushu, where the spirit realm collides with our normal realms, giving birth to a peculiar supernatural and paranormal occurrences. The anime follows 3 high schoolers named Taro, Makoto, and Masuyuki, who had traumatic experiences in their childhood and are now trying to find a connection between these incidents and the strange occurrences of the spirit realm. You can call this similar to the American series X-Files, since it generates a horror from the supernatural mysteries that happen in the world. It also deals with the spiritual aspect of these spirits and ghosts rather than many other anime on this list. At number 4, we have Another.
I don't want to die!
Another was pretty good, but I don't think it was scary. This is supposed to be
This
scared
is
the
based on a
ish out
rather
of you,
popular
but
light novel series in Japan.
like, this
In
doesn't really
1972,
scare
a
you.
girl named Misaki dies, but the teacher and students act as if she was still alive. This leads to some mysterious events.
Well, it didn't
with
really scare me,
evacuation.
I
Skipping
should
back
say.
several years, we are now at spring 1999, where a boy called Koichi gets transferred to the same class. Shortly after, the students and their relatives begin dying in strange accidents in very gruesome ways. Koichi gets together with a girl named Mei in finding out the truth about these murders and reveals some dangerous secrets that are being buried in the past. Another is similar to Gothic, but with lots of horror among its mystery. If you want something heavy on the horror aspects and lighter mystery, then give this one a watch. Ghost Hunt comes in next.
そっちには行きたくない。やめて、化け物、助けて。
Now, this one is a rather old classic, but don't let the animation hinder your experience with the story. Ghost Hunt, if not obvious by the name itself,
I wanna
is about
say
hunting
the animation
ghosts and
isn't bad at all
supernatural
for this anime.
creatures. It follows first-year high school student Mei Taniyama as she gets involved with Shibuya psychic research.
I've seen
and
some others that weren't
supernatural
as
creatures and
favorable.
phenomenons. One of the reasons why Ghost Hunt is so popular, despite being a classic, is the way it handles the horror. Even though many other anime label ghosts and spirits as supernatural creatures and label them as something horrifying, Ghost Hunter actually struggles to show that these creatures are nothing to be scared of if you know the mystery behind them. If you're a fan of horror, definitely add this anime to your watch list. At the runner-up spot, we have Shiki. No, we're not speaking of the character from Garden of Sinners, but a ghost that can haunt others. It can be called Another with an extra level of tension and horror. It happens in a rather rural Japanese village called Satoba, where vampiric creatures plague the village, bringing unfortunate and brutal deaths to its inhabitants. We follow the story of Natsuno Yuki, who soon gets dragged into these mysteries and is haunted by these vampires. Unlike many other anime, everything about Shiki is related to the horror aspect of the story. The story starts when a girl is suddenly killed after visiting a certain mansion, and the show gradually expands the horror and mystery factor of the show with each episode. If you need the conjuring of anime, then Shiki is the one for you. Topping our list, we have the king of all Japanese horror, Yamishabe Japanese Ghost Stories.
I would say this one should be. I would say this one should be number 1 out of all the ones that's like really scary. That one pops up
Unlike
with
all
a
other
lot
shows,
of scares.
there this
like
doesn't
jump
use
scares
plot
and everything
aesthetics
else.
and grippable premise to tell the story, but instead the speciality lies in the small-scale horror stories it tries to narrate. These horror stories are told by a mysterious man in a yellow mask who visits a children's playground every week at 5 PM. He tells rather suspenseful and mysterious horror stories to these children, and as the audience, we get to hear them as well. The series follows traditional Kamishabe storytelling, and the animation may seem rather odd, but once you get used to it, the show can make you look twice at your own shadow in fear. So with that, our list comes to an end. Horror anime can simply go beyond just horror. As we mentioned, an anime like Ghost Hunt.
Alright, so that was AnimeRegent's top 10 for horror anime that'll scare the ish out of you. A lot of those I don't think really scared me as much, but some I would definitely have to check out to see. But a lot of those didn't scare me as much as like the number 1 did have like jump scares and everything else that makes you feel in a moment of horror. Others, they were just scary themed to me. To others, it might be like really, really scary. But like for me, it just seemed like they were just scary things, but nothing too much as far as like the really intense. And then once you get to the intense, it gets you with the scare. So Yeah. But I'll say one of my favorite mangas that I genuinely love. I wish there was an anime for. If there isn't, or if there is, I wish there was an anime for. Is Presence. Presence was a pretty interesting horror manga that I used to read. So I definitely wish there was like an animation for it. I wish I can get the books because Presence was not a bad manga. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this, and if y'all had some other animes that really did scare you, like Pet Shop of Horrors, something around there, you know, that really just scared you. But yeah, thank you all so much for jumping on and giving me a try. Really do appreciate it. Please do take care of yourselves and each other. Peace, geekdom.